When it concerns friendships, relationships, you want to tread carefully because that right there, that friendship, that relationship you have right now could be an investment you're making that will last you a lifetime. But the twist is this: sadly, lots of friendships, lots of relationships die down. They get so sour and everything stops all of a sudden. And if you ask the people what actually happened, some wouldn't even know how to give you a vivid explanation as to what caused it. You know, they'll give their own side of the story. And if you hear from the other person, they'll give another part of the story. And finally, you just say, but why? What's actually happening? Hello and welcome. I'm Angela, and guess what? Together, we are going to see why relationships fail, why friendships fail, what's actually happening, what's going on. You might have probably heard people say, I took him in as my own child, gave him everything he has, but now he's disrespectful, he's competing with me, he wants to override me. Also, you might have probably heard someone complain saying, I took her in when she had nothing. At her 0 point, I brought her in, took care of her like my own sister. I even treated her better than a family member. And now she's being disrespectful. She's competing with me. And all those kind of complaints. Now, are all these complaints really exactly what's happening? Are these people actually being disrespectful? Are they actually in competition? And what's really causing this competition, if really it is? What's causing this disrespect? Also, you hear some people complain that I served him like a slave. I did everything he asked me to do. I served her like a slave. I did everything she asked me to do. I was a very, very good person when I was under her, or I was under him. And now she is the stumbling block. I think she's jealous of me. I think he's jealous of me. I think he sees that I'm getting to become a better person than he is. He's just jealous because I've really improved and I'm way better than he is. So all these things are things that we hear when you have the opportunity to speak to these people who have left friendships, relationships. You will hear this similar statements like this. Today our discussion is based on platonic relationship. That's the kind of relationship that exists between a leader, his follower, a master, his servant, a mentor, a mentee, or anyone serving in whatever capacity under another person. So that's the kind of relationship we're talking today. Someone serving another person, someone being under another person, someone being under another person's leadership, someone being trained to become something. So that's exactly what we are going to talk today. Platonic relationship. Every relationship or friendship has three major stages. And for anyone to be able to reap the benefits, that the long-term effects of that friendship or relationship, that person will have to successfully go through the stages of a relationship or of a friendship. You have to successfully pass through all the stages right to the end. So what are these stages of relationships or friendships? That's what we're going to look at now. The very first stage of relationships, friendships, is the incoming. That's the incoming stage. In this stage, you have one person taking in another person. That's you are willing to bring in another person into your life, into your household, to serve under you, or you're willing to bring somebody in to train the person to become something that either you want or the person wants to be. Or you bring in somebody to help out the person, to set up, groom the person, raise the person up into a better version of what the person is not currently. In this stage, you see somebody and you look at the person and you think this person needs help. So you decide to bring the person in. you decide to mentor this person. You try to raise this person to become something better. The main characteristic of this stage of friendships or relationships is dependence. There is total dependence of one person on the other, complete dependence, which means one person is the one who does the provision, you do the providing, you provide food, clothes, you provide everything that this person needs. And another characteristic here is that you teach, you lead, you show, you guide. So this incoming stage, this is actually what happens in this incoming stage. So again, in this incoming stage, it could be an example like you take in a friend that you think needs help. So you bring in a friend, it could be your best friend, it could be a friend from back from back in the days, school friend, childhood friend, and now you're in a better position. You bring in this person because you want to help the person. You want to help the person, show the person, lead the person, guide the person to what the person wants to be or wants to do. So it could be a mentor taking in a mentee, somebody he wants to raise. It could be a master bringing in or taking in a son, a boy, a girl to raise them up, to teach them a trade. It could be any form of anybody bringing in another person and guiding the person to be able to teach the person to become something. The second stage, I actually love this stage. This is the major stage that's in friendships and relationships. This is the main stage. This is the stage that will either break or make a relationship work or a friendship work. This stage is a very, 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 very nice stage. In fact, it's the determining factor of every friendship or relationship. It's actually the most important stage that personally I've seen it. And you'll be able to see with me too that this is the main stage of every relationship or friendship. And this stage is what I call the rubbing off stage. In this stage, the rubbing off stage in a friendship or a relationship, here the person you brought in starts growing, of course. The person you brought in, the person you're helping, the person you're leading, the person you're guiding is actually learning the trade, is actually getting to know. Because when you teach somebody, of course, over time, the person should have grasped one or two things. That person cannot be in the same state like when you just brought them in. No, that's not possible. So in this stage, the person has already learned a lot. So this is a rubbing off stage, meaning everything you know, or even if not all, but most of the things you know, you've been able to pass on to this person. You've been able to pass on to this person. He has learned the things you know, the things that you have taught him. He has learned them, she has learned them, or the guidance that you've been given, she's improving, she's actually doing a lot. Okay. Now, but this person is still surviving on your means, on your resources. So this is the kind of stage like you are sharing everything you have with this person. Of course, you continue sharing everything you have with this person, and now the person is improving. Of course, these are signs of growth. The person is growing, of course, has learned a lot, is growing, is expanding in knowledge, is expanding in learning the trade. It's he or she is already knowing all the basics and even getting more. Now, one other very interesting part of this second stage, or rubbing off stage, is that as time goes on, we're still in this rubbing off stage. As time goes on, this person becomes skillful, of course. And to me, it simply just shows that you are a good teacher, you are a good leader, you've been a great guide. So this person has learned a lot of things, and he or she can actually execute some things with little or no help. The person has become skillful, knowing what to do. And another factor Another characteristic of this stage is that this person is actually excited. When you bring in somebody, you want to lead someone, you want to be a mentor to someone, you're teaching the person how to do this particular thing. When this person has learned, that's his or her own way to prove to you that he has learned is by doing some things independently to show you that I've been learning. I've actually been learning all the things you've been teaching me. So they get excited in this stage. They want to do a lot of things. Before you want to come to do something that you've always been doing, before you come, the person might have gone halfway already. Now there is a lot of misinterpretation in this stage. If care is not taken, the master or the main person, as the leader, the one leading the other person, might misinterpret a lot of things. He or she might think this is competition now coming. Yeah, because the things you knew how to do, and the things you were showing him or her how to do, now before you come, she has already started doing them. Before you want to come set up the place, she has already done it, and maybe she's even attending to some customers and all that. So there's a lot of misinterpretation in this stage. People misinterpret a lot of things. They start thinking, now this is competition. Now she wants to prove to me that she knows more than me, or he knows more than me, and all that. But actually, this is just somebody who has learned, who is trying to be active for his master or for her mistress, trying to prove that I've learned, I can actually do these things without asking so much help from you. And I want to do them so that in case there is something missing, you could come in then and correct me, but not like showing me everything from scratch. The leader has to be very vigilant in the last part of this rubbing off stage, because there is a particular event that takes place that is an indication that this person has grown, that now you have to let this person go to go and establish his own life somewhere. You know, since they were all surviving on the same resources, of course, which are the leaders' resources, once there start being a strain on on the resources, once they start like spending more than they used to spend before, because because your mentee has actually grown up and has learned a lot of things, and now he too is wanting. So he too needs some things. He needs to purchase some things. He needs to get some things ready. He starts attending to some customers. Might even go around to try to get some customers to make his own kind of cash. Like to make some kind of extra cash for himself or for herself. When it gets to this level, this is the part in the rubbing off stage that every leader has to watch out for. When things go through, like everything goes on well, and then you start seeing that this person is actually behaving like an independent person, though he's still serving under me, you have to be very, very vigilant. This is the part, this is an indicator. This is what tells you that this person is can survive on his or her own. This person can actually stand, if he's wanting some things from my resources that I have now, still providing for him, and he's now living like somebody who can be independent. That should indicate to you that it's time for this person to leave. It's time for this person to go and start his or her own life somewhere, growing up, making his own life too. So this is a part where the leader has to be very, very vigilant to know about this. But most often than not, what actually happens is this. All of a sudden there is this resentment that comes in. The leader could start feeling like this person is actually competing with me, and the follower, the mentee, could start thinking like, why is that when I want to do this thing he frowns, or she frowns at me when I want to do this thing? You see, so he or she might be thinking that maybe this person is actually jealous that I've learned a lot. And the leader too, on the other hand, might be saying, maybe this person is in competition with me. He wants to take my customers or my members or anything. He wants to prove to me that he knows a lot. Look, this stage is actually the blessing. once you see these things, it's high time you just try to see how you can let this person go. How you can let this person go and start his or her own life somewhere. It's actually the blessing in disguise. This is the last thing that tells you that this person is independent and can go. But sadly, what happens actually is this, that these people, there is uh frustration. Can I say frustration? There is this silence that come in, like, no, this person doesn't talk to this person, or there is a kind of strain in their relationship. Now there's a strain. The both of them can't sit down to actually talk about something, This person has a wrong ideology, a wrong picture about this person. And this other one too has a wrong picture about this person. So there's a strain in the relationship. Now what they start doing is they start talking to other people outside. They start explaining their situation to other people outside. Now, what do you expect someone who was not there at the inception of your relationship or friendship? What do you expect such a person to tell you? What do you expect? What kind of advice do you really expect from such a person? Of course, it's not going to be a good advice. You know, the person will only say, "You can leave. You've already learned enough. Why are you still there? What are you still waiting for? You can survive now. If you go, you can make it. You already have customers. You already have members. You can go and you set up your own structure and you start moving." So that's it. And now, if it ends at this stage, if both of them hear from people outside and they decide to follow the counsel that they got from outside, the truth is this: that friendship or relationship is going to die. It's going to stop. This is exactly what causes destruction of friendships, relationships. This is the main reason why friendships and relationships break. Now, I don't know what stage of friendship or relationship you are right now with anybody any of your friends or anybody you're serving under or whatsoever. If you are still in this rubbing off stage, then this message just made you very timely. So if they start listening from everybody outside, that's exactly what's going to happen. It will break. They will part ways, and you have to give me the answer to this question right now. Now, if you are such a person who has left at the last part of this rubbing off stage, what kind of mentality do you live with? What you live with is that person I served was really a bad person, because that's what you were able to see up to that stage. That's all you saw. You never saw anything beyond that. That's all you saw: bitterness, traces of jealousy, and the other one will complain that she was in competition with me, and this one will be saying she was jealous of me. That's all you saw, and that's all you can tell. There is nothing more you can tell. The bitterness, the hatred, the resentment, that's all you take out. And if you leave at that stage, the relationship is ruined, it's dead. Nobody has any good picture of the other person. Nobody even wants to see the other person again in their lives. So something that started off well has suddenly died down. And sadly, many relationships, about 70% of relationships, end at the last part of the rubbing off stage. The last part that is actually supposed to be an indicator that this person can stand, let the person go. But sadly, that's when they die, like finally die, you know. But then there is still hope, because we have one stage that's left. And that stage, to get to that stage, it will be how the leader was able to 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 get the message that was being passed to him, that this mentee, that this person serving under me can actually stand. So if the leader took it in this light and was able to know that this person can stand, I should let the person go, then we are getting into the last stage in relationships and friendships. Now, welcome to the letting off stage. This is the last stage in friendships, relationships. The letting off stage is the last and the most important. That's the final stage. I call it the stage of glory. really. Every relationship that has survived the first stage, and most especially the second stage, has made it into the letting off stage. When you let the person go. I call this stage the stage of glory. Any relationship that has gone through the first, second, and has made it to the third, I think that relationship, that friendship really involved great people, and the leader was actually a very, 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 very intelligent person because not many relationships see the third stage. First, second, it gets so tough on the break. You know, the benefits that we get in the glory stage, we have all the benefits. What are the benefits? Why would you let someone go? Because when you look at the benefits you would get from letting someone go, they are far more, much more greater, enormous. They have too many. There are many things you benefit from letting someone go. For getting to the first stage, surviving the hurdles of the second, being intelligent, and knowing how to manage every part of the second stage. And you get into the third, it comes to a time where you have to let that person go. We're going to look at the benefits of letting someone who has served under you to go. Now, the benefits is not just on one person. Both parties get to enjoy the benefit. The mentee, the mentor. So it's a two-way thing. And if both people are able to make their relationship, their friendship work and get up to the third stage, that's a great pair, And both of them will see all the benefits that come in the glory stage. Well, we have the great example of this a great example that we get from the Bible is the story of Abram and his nephew Lot. Abram and his nephew Lot, the relationship that they had was exactly a relationship that went through all the stages. Now, Abram was very, very intelligent. He was very, very intelligent because it got to a point where there was strife. You know, there was strife when Abram's herdsmen will come and Lot's herdsmen will come and start complaining that there is not enough this, there is not enough that. And the people were actually even fighting in the bushes. Now, Lot was someone who was really blessed, who was blessed from all the blessings that Abram had. So he was blessed. He had everything he had from Abram. Now, he, of course, owning all that, it simply means that somebody who could be independent. He could be his own master. He was actually living on the resources of his master. And now there was a strain because the grazing land they had now was not enough. It didn't have the capacity to carry all of the flock that they had. So that was when there was a problem. But Abram was so intelligent. When things got so, 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 so hot, he had to call Lot and said, there shouldn't be any strife between you and me or between our herdsmen because we are related. We are family. We are related in Christ. We are related. We shouldn't be fighting. We should do this thing correctly. Now, the people who were not there from the inside, people don't know where friendships and relationships come from. People don't know how far, people don't know the history people have together. They don't know. If you go asking them for counsel, they'll give you whatever they think in their head. Abraham was so intelligent and he told Lot that we shouldn't strive. We can do this correctly. Of course, he was a leader and he decided to do it perfectly. Now, he decided to let Lot go. What are the benefits? Of course, we all see the benefits in the Bible. Now, Abram had a loyal ally, and Abram was someone who was so influential. He had his own allies around. Now, on Lot's part, Lot had a loyal ally too. He could even still benefit from the allies that Abram had. So you see, you have a friend, you have a fortified ally, you have someone who can always, you just need to call and the person is present. There are lots of benefits of a relationship, friendship going right to the last stage, there are lots of benefits for both people. You have a loyal person in your life that when you need help is quick to show up anytime you want, because that's a way of showing gratitude for all you were able to do for him or her. That's it. So people need to actually make their friendships and their relationships work. Someone there has to be the intelligent one. Someone has to be the one who is vigilant to see, to know that, okay, this, I'm seeing this signs, it means this person can actually be independent now, and letting the person go off like in a ceremonious way, not in strife, like doing it perfectly. You don't want to mess up a relationship you've had like all your life. You don't want to mess up a friendship you've had, your childhood friend who came living with you, and because some things, the resources were strained, your resources were strained, and you start fighting with the person, and then you both just break up. We should stop losing friends. We should stop losing relationships. We should stop. Work hard to make your friendship work, to make your relationship work to the last stage, or you let the person go in a ceremonious way, in a grand style, and you have all the benefits coming back to you. That's the reason why you have to make everything possible. You see the last stage and you do it in a perfect way so that you have benefits that will never ever end. And you as a leader, letting a mentee, someone who serves under you, go, it's a kind of, to me, it's a way of you pitching your tent like in many places. Because that person is going to go, he will speak well of you. He will tell people about you. And your fame, your story about you is going to spread. So thank you for following right to this last stage, the stage of glory. And if your relationship hasn't gotten to this stage, make sure it works, it gets to this stage. If your relationship failed in the second, you could still make things right. You could still talk with the person, with your best friend or your family member, and you guys can still try to work out something. Friendship, relationship is the best investment that you can do for yourself. Thank you. And please like and follow my Facebook page. Until we see next time, have a very, very lovely time. Bye. I love you.